Hi, my name is Jennifer Gutierrez, and I'm going to be doing problem number 10 from 2.6, Visualizing Linear Functions. In this problem, we're given 4 equations, and the question is asking us, assuming x is graphed on the horizontal axis, which equation or equations have graphs that A are decreasing, B have a positive vertical intercept, C pass through the origin, and D is or are the steepest. Okay, so the first step in figuring out our questions is to solve our equations and get y by itself. So an example would be negative y plus 2x equals 4. So you want y by itself, so you're going to subtract negative 2x from both sides. Get negative y equals negative 2 plus negative 2x plus 4, and then you're going to divide negative 1 from both sides and end up with y equals 2x minus 4, and that's how you get your y by itself. So now that we saw an example of how to get y by itself, we're going to start solving our 4 equations. So for the first one, it's 5y plus 4x minus 40. So the first thing we want to do is add 40 to both sides. So that's 40 plus 40. We end up with 5y plus 4x equals 40. Then we want to subtract 4x from both sides. 4x minus 4x. And 5y equals negative 4x plus 40. And then we're going to want to divide 5 from both sides to get y by itself. And we end up with y equals negative 4 over 5x plus 8. Okay, and for our second problem, it's y plus 8x equals 1. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 8x from both sides and end up with y equals negative 8x plus 1. For our third equation, 5x minus y equals 0, we're going to first subtract 5x from both sides, end up with negative y equals negative 5x. Then we're going to divide by negative 1, and we end up with y equals 5x. Okay, so for our last equation, 16x minus 15 equals 2y. So we're going to divide 2 from both sides and end up with y equals 8x minus 15 over 2. Okay, so now that we found our equations and got y by itself, we're going to answer the questions. So our first question is, which ones are decreasing? So for decreasing, we're going to look at our slopes and see that only the first 2 have negative slopes. So number 1 and number 2 are decreasing. And for question B, it says which ones have positive vertical intercepts. So we're going to look at all our positive vertical intercepts. We can see that the first 2 are positive and the third one doesn't have one, and our fourth one is negative. So again, it'll be 1 and 2. Okay, and for question C, it says which one passes through the origin. And as we can see with our equations, only one has no vertical intercept, so we're going to say that number 3 passes through the origin. And for D, our last question, it says which one is or are the steepest. So we're going to look at our slopes again, and as we can see, negative 8 and positive 8 are steepest slopes since they're the highest ones. So we're going to say 2 and 4 are steepest. And that's number 10 on 2.6 visualizing linear functions.